There's a specific kind of moment that used to piss me off as a manager and a director. A meeting starts at 10. I expect everyone in the room by 9:50 ready to go. And instead, I walk in to find someone still fighting with the HDMI cable. I go on vacation, and instead of relaxing, I'm wondering who's gonna answer the team's email. What happens if a question comes in while I'm gone? Someone from another team needs something from one of my engineers. And before they've even finished asking, I'm already thinking, do I really have to step in here? Can my team figure this out on its own? None of these were failures on their own, but taken together, they were telling me something I didn't want to hear yet. I used to think that being a good manager meant protecting my team from unnecessary work. I wanted my direct reports to focus on engineering, so I took care of the busy work myself. Emails, coordination, meeting preparation, communication with other teams. Anything I thought would distract them from the work I consider more important. At first, this felt like good management. But over time, I started to feel like I was babysitting my own team. Here's what I eventually had to admit. My team was becoming dependent on me, and I was the one who had built that dependency. I had been trying to protect my team from work they didn't need to do. But in doing so, I was also protecting them from opportunities to learn how to do those things themselves. I was making the team more efficient in the short term, but less capable in the long term. And I was becoming the bottleneck. This is one of the lessons I learned through actually managing people. Management isn't about making sure everything goes through you. It's about building a system that can keep working without your constant oversight. That means giving people ownership, not just tasks. There's a difference. You can tell someone, prepare this presentation for me. Or you can say, you're responsible for making sure we're prepared for this meeting. Here is the objective. Figure out what needs to happen. The first delegates a task. The second delegates responsibility. And it's far more uncomfortable. When you give someone ownership, they might not do it the way you would. They might take longer, make mistakes, or ask questions you think they should already know the answer to. If you already know how to do something, it is incredibly tempting to take it back. I'll just do it because it'll be faster. Sometimes that's true. But if you keep doing that, you never develop the person who could eventually do it without you. So I have come to think that one of the responsibilities of a manager is to make yourself less necessary. Give people the objective. Give them the context and the boundaries they need. Then give them enough freedom to find their own way to the result. Coach when necessary. Intervene when the direction is wrong. But don't make a habit of taking the wheel back. This doesn't mean abandoning your team. In fact, it's the opposite. Good management requires enough oversight to know when something is going off track. I learned this from experience too. There are times when giving people complete freedom doesn't work. I've talked before about the moment when you realize you need to take a closer look. The answer isn't to choose between micromanagement and complete autonomy. It's to build a system where people have enough autonomy to develop judgment, while you maintain enough visibility to know when intervention is necessary. Here's the part that actually changed how I managed. Over time, something interesting starts to happen. People start solving problems you used to solve, communicating with people you used to communicate with, making decisions without asking you, preparing for meetings without being reminded. Eventually, you go on vacation, and this time, nobody's wondering who's going to answer the email. Nothing breaks. That last part might sound small, but I think it's one of the clearest signs you have built a functioning team. There is a strange paradox here. As an individual contributor, becoming indispensable can feel like a sign of value. You're the person everyone goes to because you know how things work. But as a manager, becoming indispensable can be a sign that you have failed to build enough capability around you. The goal is not to make yourself the person who knows everything. The goal is to create an organization where the right people can make the right decisions without you being involved in every one of them. This is where delegation becomes more than a productivity technique. It's leverage. If you're spending your time doing something someone else can learn to do, you're using your time inefficiently. If that person eventually becomes better at it than you are, that's even better. There's often somebody else who might be better suited to a job you don't enjoy. Someone might love the administrative work you hate, be much better at coordinating across teams, or enjoy the detailed work you find tedious. Your job isn't necessarily to keep doing those things because you can. Your job is to find the right person, give them ownership, and get out of their way. I used to think that taking work away from my team was a way of helping them. Now, I think differently. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is hand someone a responsibility that they are not quite ready for yet, and give them enough room to grow into it. Because the objective of management isn't to build a team that needs you for everything. It's to build a system that keeps working when you're not there. And when that happens, you don't become less valuable. You finally have the leverage to work on the things that only you can do.